Who knows, maybe it's a Christmas miracle, but I actually have some positive news to share with you this month. Inflation is cooling, mortgage interest rates have inched back a little bit, which has resulted in mortgage applications having a little bit of a bump. There's also been a bump in inventory, meaning homes that are coming to market for sale, and even the stock market had a good November. Welcome back to another video. I'm Alysia Shivers. I'm your go-to Naples, Florida real estate agent. I've been servicing the areas of Naples, Bonita Springs, and Estero for the last 12 years, and I'd love to help you meet your real estate goals here in Southwest Florida, whether it's now, 6 months from now, a year out, or even later. And if you want to stay in the loop about everything that's happening within Naples and the real estate market, subscribe to my channel and you'll be the first to know. Okay, let's get back into this video. I think we can all agree that 2023 started out pretty rough. People were on edge about the economy, there was fears about recession, and the Federal Reserve's narrative throughout the entire year of 2023 was that they were willing to tolerate job losses in order to get inflation under control. Interestingly enough, though, instead of job losses, the economy has actually picked up steam. According to a chief economist that I just listened to, the U.S. economy grew by 5% in the last quarter, according to the latest GDP numbers. Here's what she had to share regarding the economy. She said earlier this year there were 2 job openings for every 1 unemployed person. And now the job market has tightened up a bit. There's now 1.5 jobs. Don't know how to show that on my fingers, but there's now 1.5 jobs for every 1 unemployed person. So getting a job in this market is a little bit tougher. She also said that for those that are currently on unemployment, their time on unemployment is lengthening. And we're starting to see another round of layoffs, especially in the tech sector. But what we haven't seen are actual job losses or a pickup in the unemployment rate. Like she said, maybe the Federal Reserve is actually able to pull this off. We may be on the cusp of the Federal Reserve beginning to cut rates and avoiding job losses. As this economist pointed out, while inflation has been really tough for all of us, and it is a burden on many people, especially those that live paycheck to paycheck, job losses are much, much worse. Inflation is a short-term problem, whereas job losses, that creates long-term, lifetime consequences for people. This chief economist also pointed out from a recent Bloomberg report that 40% of homeowners are now mortgage-free. That's an all-time high, and half of those people are retired. That means that 40% of people are sitting on 100% of equity, and they don't really care so much about where mortgage interest rates are right now. All of that housing wealth will eventually flow down as an inheritance to the next generation. The real fear, because of the unaffordability at the moment regarding homes, is that will we become a rental economy. As this economist pointed out, we're still a country of homeowners. It's really built into our DNA. Heck, it's even built into our zoning. For builders right now who want to build apartment complexes or multi-unit housing, zoning and permitting is still a little bit restrictive, although that is starting to loosen up a little bit in order to tackle this affordability issue. The fact is that people still look to their homes as their financial safety net. Home ownership has created generational wealth for decades, and it continues to do so. Look, regarding the housing market, the peak prices that we saw in 2021, even into early 2022, are pretty much behind us. In general, we are seeing homes sit on the market longer. And if you watch my market update from last month, I noted that buyers really are after move-in ready homes. So if your home is a little bit less desirable to what today's buyers want, and it's not priced properly, it's going to have a really hard time moving in this current environment. Those properties that are less desirable are going to drag down the averages and the price data that we see over the next year. And as more inventory comes online, that also will put downward pressure on prices. But in this current market, that's not necessarily a bad thing. This is all improving affordability. Now let's take a closer look at what's actually happening within the Naples market. The most recent October numbers just came out. The good news is that we actually saw an increase in homes coming to market for sale. For instance, in September of 2023, we had 937 new listings come to market for sale. But in October, we had 1,231 listings come to market for sale. This October had the highest number of new listings come to market compared to any October since the pandemic. But if we look back historically, even pre-pandemic, the months of October and January, those are the 2 months when the most new listings typically come to market. So it's nice to see that maybe we are returning to a little bit of normalcy. And if our inventory of homes for sale continues to rise at this current pace, then there's going to be more opportunity for buyers to negotiate. When we look at the number of properties that have gone under contract, though, in October of 2023, that number actually dropped a little bit, with only 665 properties going under contract. When we compare that to the month prior, September of 2023, there were 735 properties that went under contract. But as I mentioned earlier in this video, homes are staying on the market a little bit longer. In summer of 2022, our average days on market was around 20 days. That's pretty low. Whereas this past summer, 2023, our average days on market was around 52 days. And now our average days of market, as of the statistics for October of 2023, is 56 days on the market. We also saw an increase in our median close price. In September of 2023, our median close price was $571,500. And in October, it was $580,000. There's still that contingent of buyers who feel that since they're paying cash, that gives them a little bit of an advantage. But the fact remains is that here in our Naples market, our cash transactions still exceed 50% of our overall sales. To give you an idea of just how many properties are currently on the market for sale in all of Naples, in September of 2023, there was 2,793 properties for sale. And as of the end of October, there was 3,367 properties for sale. We are still well below a balanced market with only 4.5 months of inventory available. But keep in mind that that 4.5 months of supply is market-wide. There are pockets within Naples that have a higher months of supply, and there are some pockets of Naples that have a lower months of supply. Pricing your property correctly is still critically important. As I mentioned earlier, buyers really want move-in ready homes. They do not want to take on big projects. If you want to talk about buying or selling here in the Naples, Bonita Springs, or Estero markets, reach out to me, call, text, or email, and we will start talking about what is best for your situation, and if you're selling, how to price your property correctly so it moves in this current environment.